SBS World News can reveal that the High Court has been asked to consider the Commonwealth Government's appeal of a landmark ruling that favours detainees trying to leave indefinite detention. The Federal Court ordered the immediate release of a detainee after it found the department had failed to act within a reasonable time to deport him. But protests are continuing over the government's ongoing detention program.
A crowd of people turning up in force at the Mantra Hotel in Melbourne's north to try and stop the transfer of 60 asylum seekers. Police barricading the entrance as Border Force officers began transporting the group to the Park Hotel on the outskirts of the city. Earlier, recently released detainee Farhad Bandesh at the site to support those still inside.
They are suffering, they are torturing. Of course they are torturing. Can you imagine, for 17 months, they are stuck in this hotel.
It comes as the High Court agrees to hear an appeal by the Minister of Home Affairs against a landmark ruling which scrutinised the government's timelines for processing detainees. Former detainee Ahmed Mahmoud had his residency taken over a prior offence. He was due to be deported to Syria but was detained for 6 years.
And they told me, no, we can't send you back. I'm like, what do you mean you can't send me back? They said, you can't be sent back. You gotta wait for Syria to be better. I said, that could take another 20 years.
For the first time, the court used an age-old principle known as habeas corpus to deem his detention unlawful and order his immediate release. With the order, there's no visa to be cancelled, Ahmed can't be returned to detention, and for now he remains free and effectively outside of the department's control. Under the habeas principle, the court found the government failed to properly carry out a key purpose of the detention, which was arranging the detainee's departure, thereby making the detention itself unlawful.
This case is an absolute game changer because it forces the government to pursue the purpose of detention. So if you're going to remove someone, then take the steps to remove them. Provide them with some certainty.
Lawyers say it's the first time a detainee has been released under the principle in Australia, which now puts an onus on the government to prove a decision to detain someone is lawful.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see more cases brought to the court as the courts start to say you can't just keep someone locked up forever, it's against the law.
We have a number of cases that we have progressed and filed as well that are all being scheduled by the Federal Court, and I'm aware of many other firms that are doing the same. So you are starting to see this wave of habeas cases because the doorway has been opened.
But then last week, another major decision in the case of McHugh versus the Minister of Immigration. This time, the full bench of the Federal Court here in Melbourne issuing a writ for the immediate release of a second detainee. Legal advocates for 7 other men released say they filed applications using the same habeas principles for their clients too.
We actually had to radically change our submissions because we found new authority.
The department granting the 7 visas shortly before their habeas cases were set to be heard.
It might not be a get out of jail free card for everyone, but certainly for many people who are now stuck in this system where the government is just keeping them locked up indefinitely for no reason, it might provide some avenue of hope.
A hope that so far seems to be eluding the 60 men transported today to another alternative detention location where they will remain detained. Dom Vukovic, SBS World News.
And returning to